All right. So first, let me tell you, okay, pause for just a second. Hey, Jen, it doesn't look like it did before. Is that okay? Like it's not that, it's this one. Is that okay?
It's okay. Yeah, so when you, I think,
oh, it's because I'm not in the slideshow.
Yeah.
Okay.
See what that does.
Maybe I need to stop and then start
You
that.
can reshare it now. This is totally not what happens at school
No.
during the day.
No. That's okay, right?
No, it's not just not advancing. It's not advancing. Let's force it to read. Hit Windows P. We need to reshare and then go to, so now do your share.
What's that too? Just this one? Do you think it'll show it on
Yeah,
there?
it will.
Okay, that's fine. I'm good with that as long as they see what they need to.
Yeah, so go into your slideshow.
There we go. Oh, now it's back. Look, there we go. Okay, sorry. So let's start with what this act says. Okay, so beginning with the 2022-2023 school year, a student in the 3rd grade shall not be promoted to the next grade level unless the student is determined to be proficient in English language arts, or we're going to call it ELA tonight, based on the student's achieving a performance level rating of met expectations. And I will explain what that is in just a moment. On the ELA portion of the student's most recent Tennessee Comprehensive Assessment Program, which is the TCAP. So also based on this, if a student does not generate a score, like if the student doesn't take the test or does not qualify for an exemption, they will be counted as not proficient. So if they don't take the test, then they would still be retained. We want to tell you, so before we go into what all of that really means, here's what we believe. This doesn't mean that we support this, we are against this. We are just relaying some information to you. At RCS, we believe that the reading ability should be measured by more than one measure. And we do. Things we do here every day based on all different things. We use multiple data points and teacher observations to monitor student achievement. Teachers and staff know their students. They know what they need, and they're going to provide instruction based on that knowledge. And then we also believe decisions about retention should be left to families, teachers, and administration. So it is what it is. And I just want you to know things could change. They could not. We're just not sure. We're going to tell you what's happening now. And if anything does change, we will let you know. Okay. So on the TCAP, there are 4 performance levels. If they get level 4, that's exceeded expectations. If they get a level 3, that's met. These students would be considered proficient. They would move on to 3rd grade, nothing else happens. If they score a level 2 or a level 1, that's not proficient. And then that's where we'll start taking some steps and other things happen. Okay. And let me show you some of those pathways. All right. So pathways to promotion. These are automatics. If the student is automatically promoted if they score proficient, which was that level 3 or level 4. The student is an English language learner and has received less than 2 years of ELA instruction. If that makes sense. If your student was retained in any other grade K through 3, they cannot be retained again. So they would go on to promotion. The student has a disability or a suspected disability that impacts reading, or the student is retested before the beginning of the next school year and scores proficient in ELA. That one is, that's what the law says right now. We're not sure how that would look or how that could happen, but that's what it says right now. That means they would have to retake the ELA portion in the summer. All right. So here's additional pathways. Now, if they score this approaching over here, that would be the level 2. If they score approaching, the student must attend summer school with a 90% attendance and demonstrate adequate growth on the post-test. So there will be some sort of test at the beginning of summer school and at the end. We're not sure what that's going to be or what that will look like yet, but as long as they show growth. Or participate in high dosage, low ratio tutoring for all of next school year. That one's an or. There is a parent appeal process if they qualify for that. So if your student scores above the 40th percentile on our screener, which at our school we use Ames Web. So when we do that one in the spring and they score above the 40th, but they do not, they score approaching, you could do a parent appeal and try to go that way. If tragedy, heaven forbid, that happens, like say you had a fire at your home, loss of a loved one, or if like your child had a significant medical diagnosis, that could be a parent appeal. Now, a level 1, here's the difference. Instead of or, they have and. So if they score a level 1, they have to do summer camp, maintain their attendance, and do the tutoring for next year. And what this means is that they're going to be in our Tennessee All-Core Tutoring Program, which is during the school day, which would be during their like tribe time in a small group. And they would be in that for the entire year. Yes.
If they scored in the level 1 and they took the summer school and then they took the test at the end and were high enough, and they were in the level 3, would they still have to do it?
Yes, it's not the test that they would do in summer school is not the TCAP. It's not. It's probably last year we used Ames Web, and I think part of iReady the year before. So whatever, that would just be a local test.
So the other test you're talking about in the other screen
is
TCAP.
If they come up, see what would have to happen is the state would probably have to create a whole new test in a couple weeks. I don't know how that would work or if that would happen. Yeah. And that would be your child taking that test over a couple weeks later, you know, unless they were like a question or 2 away. Are they really, you know what I mean? I don't know how that's going to look. This test during camp is like local. Yeah. All right. Everybody good on this screen before I leave this one? Any questions about this one? Good. Okay. All right. So now you're wondering what's TCAP going to look like? So this is on your paper. It's broken into 4 subparts. Reading literature, reading informational text, vocabulary, written expression, and conventions. So you see the breakdown on your paper of what each day will look like. And then I think when I talked to Mr. Bailey about this today, so we're going to have to do ELA first so we can get this submitted quickly so they can get our scores back to us. And so now you're probably like, what's that going to look like? So I have some examples for you. And this is on, I got this from our live binder. These were some examples from a previous test. And going back into the text and finding that evidence is huge. Even with the vocabulary, they're going to say in paragraph 12 in this sentence that here's the word that was used. How is it used in this sentence? So that's something you can be doing at home in their reading. You know, asking them, what do you think the author meant by that? Go back into paragraph 4. What do you think he meant when he said this? So that's going to be really, really important. We were looking, Ms. Price and I were looking earlier, see if I can go back to this one. We were looking at these editing items, and what that seemed to look like is like in the passage, what was wrong with this sentence? So maybe it was punctuation, and then you'd have to edit that, not that you're going to edit it, but you would pick the correct sentence. Maybe it's have the commas in the series. That's what they mean by editing. Go back here. So, and there was, when we looked, there was a lot of these prefixes and suffixes. But it's going to be a whole lot of that reading stamina. They've got to read that passage and go back and look for their answers. I do know in the tutoring classes and in 3rd grade classes, they're going to do some like test taking techniques, how to help them. I remember being taught, I always went and read my questions first and then went back and read the passage so that when I'm reading, I know what I'm looking for. So if that helps your child, that's a good technique to give them. Yes.
They still have to transfer.
Oh. Yep. I actually observed a group of 3rd graders today, and they were using that technique of highlighting it in their passage. So they are working on it. All right, let me show you this next slide. So this is kind of our timeline of things that have happened and will be happening. So January 23rd, some of you got that home literacy report. That was from a toolkit from our state. If your student scored below the 40th percentile on their winter benchmark report, I sent you that, and it's just kind of a warning of the state says if they're below that 40th percentile, there could be, you know, we just need to be careful. So that has happened. So the next thing that's happening, February 16th, parent-teacher conferences, I would really advise you to take that time to maybe sit down with your child's teacher and talk about, you know, what can you do? What do you see in class? What do they need help with? And do that. I know that they are going to be doing some practice testing. I think the ELA part might be coming up. So if they've done that by the end, you can discuss how they did on the practice at that time. So we will be sending out, we said tentatively, just in case, give us a day or two, but the spring benchmark report should be coming out May 19th, right around then. April 17th through May 5th, the TCAP testing window. And May 26th, the state says that's when they're going to release our scales for proficient and non-proficient cut scores. So we're supposed to get them back like right there at the end of school. So hopefully we will know, because usually our summer camps start like that week. So it's going to be close. Yes.
So the spring games drive was supposed to give you an idea of whether they're going to pass their.
So you have to be careful because that just really kind of gives you what kind of reader they are. It's a completely different test. You know what I mean? So, but they do say, you know, if they are below that 40th percentile, that could mean that there was some sort of reading deficit, just to be careful. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an indicator. So May 30th, hopefully we'll have scores back, and that's when our summer learning camp will begin. The parent appeal window, you'll see the dates for that. I did give you a link for that just in case that's something you're going to need. That'll be on the next slide. July 14th, that's when the final retention notification will come if a child is going to be retained. Right. So let me give you this next slide. Questions about dates? I know it's hard to ask a question, but that goes, but you've got it in front of you, so we can go back to it. This is our list of local legislators. They want to hear from you. And if you have anything you'd like to say to them, there's their contact information. This whole presentation will be linked on our website, and these are linked. So if you want to use these from there, you can. And then I did give you some links that you might find helpful. So the first one is just this whole legislative overview. There is a third grade promotion fact page on the Tennessee Department of Ed, so I linked that for you as well. There's the parent appeal form. This student assessment, that is if you go to the Tennessee Department of Ed, there is a whole page for parents. So that links you right there. Scholastic put out a really good study skills and test taking tips just for third grade. So that is linked there on the bottom. This one, I don't know if you can do it from your paper, but you can come up here and use this QR code if you want to. They are giving away free decodable books. I ordered them for my child. They're really good. So if you want free books, you just have to fill out a couple of questions and they'll send them to you. And they actually messed up and sent me like 3 packs. So maybe you'll get more than that. So I gave them to some friends, but they are pretty good. I got a set of these decodables, and then I got like 2 other readers as well. And they're all free. All right. Let's go here. What did you say? So we are going to do a quick question and answer if you have it. We are going to post this to the website. Some things I can tell you that if you're wondering right now, what can I do? You know, we don't want to scare these kids. They don't need more stress. That's why we asked them not to be here tonight. Have them here if they can. I know sickness has been an issue, but if they can be here and be here on time, that's the best thing for them. Reading every night and just making sure that they know it is important. These practice tests, they're going to treat them at school just like the real thing. So I'm sure your teachers will let you know that they're coming and treat them just like a real test as well. And that way maybe they won't be so nervous when the real thing happens. Okay. All right. What questions do you have? Comments. We'll take comments too. They do have, you all got all the new stuff from like the live binders and the practice and all of that. Yes. Okay, sure. I'm sorry. Yep, sorry. Those of you at home, they were asked if teachers got any resources. Oh, I hit a button. I got it. All right. Any other questions?
Summer camp, where do you held summer camp at?
Here.
It will be here?
It will be here.
Buses will run to or not?
They usually do. We usually run at the same time that the county does so that we can ensure we have buses. They have in the past.
What are the hours for summer school? What days?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was asked what were the hours for summer school. 8 to 2 is 7:30 to 2:30. Yeah, we had to run it earlier because we do it Monday through Thursday. How it has been in the past. I don't know if that will have to change because of this, but we did it a little bit earlier so that we can get off on Fridays.
Is it 6 weeks or
4 weeks? 4 weeks.
4 weeks or something?
Mm-hmm. Yep, 4 weeks, 4 days a week. And the good thing is the kids love summer camp. So it's not, it's not going to be torture for them. It's really fun. So they'll enjoy it. All right. Any other questions? And if anybody at home has a question, you can put that in the chat as well. Check this. All right.
Okay.
Just repeat that
Yeah.
question.
So the question was, how well does the questions match up with the standards in the practice? And the answer is there is a correlating guide that goes question by question that aligns it to the standard. So when we send that practice home, you can go through and see, oh, they missed 1, 2, and 3. Those all correlate with standard 1. Then you can read that standard and see, okay, how can I help them? So that will give you a lot of help in narrowing down specifically what your child is struggling with.
Thank you.
That's okay.
All right. Anything else? I'm sorry, I didn't introduce Ms. Here that we have the 3rd grade teachers. So this is Miss Kathy Johnson and Nikki Margajak, and I lost Jess. Oh, there she is. There she is. And Jess Price. Yep. Yep. So, do y'all have anything you want to say? 3rd grade teachers. Right. Let me check the chat up here. All right. Do you all want to say anything? Mr. Hartsick, Ms. Davenport? No? Y'all are good? Okay. Well, I do appreciate you coming. I should have put my email up there. But it's Lawson A. It's on that paper I sent home. Lawson A at marksonschool.net. I'll need anything. Have any other questions? Email me. Oh, there is something in the chat. Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna answer that one. Yep. Try to call upstairs. I can't hear it ring, so email me and then I'll call you back. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all coming. We're gonna make it through it. Let's not stress our children.